Oh, buckle up, baby, and let's take a trip to the future. This time on City Beat, we're looking ahead and tackling the biggest sports topics that will be facing Las Vegas in 2030 and beyond. It's City Beat like you've never seen it before. Let's go.
From Las Vegas, this is City Beat.
Hello and welcome. Thank you for hanging out with us here on City Beat. I'm your host, Mike Davis. City Beat is the show that dissects the Vegas sports world through the eyes of the sports reporters and storytellers leading the charge. Joining the action on the panel, we have Case Kiefer, assistant sports editor of the Las Vegas Sun, Ken Bulkey of Sin Bin Vegas, and Jason Page of the Sports Wrap with Jason Page. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. Now, this episode of City Beat, it's going to be an exercise of future thought. We're going to start projecting the Vegas sports world in the year of 2030. So like most great sports cities, the public has a personal ranking of team importance. Where I'm from originally, in Philly, it would be in order of Eagles, Phillies, Sixers, Flyers. So here in Southern Nevada in 2030, who will be the most popular sports team in Vegas? And remember, the Athletics will have already been here for a couple years. The NBA should be in town by then too. So Ken, what will the ranking look like in 2030?
Well, it's clearly Golden Knights at the top. I mean, I'm a little bit biased on that, but that's not going to change. I would imagine the Raiders will be second, assuming they win more than 4 games every once in a while. I'm not convinced that's going to happen, but maybe it does. Then I think basketball will be above baseball. I don't know how the basketball thing's all going to work out. I'm assuming they're going to be awful at the beginning. Sometimes they're not, we've learned. But them going basketball, whatever, what are we calling them? The Desert Knights?
I don't know.
I thought they have to be Knights. Doesn't everything have to be Knights?
If it's Bill Foley.
That's a whole other show.
That's a whole other show.
That's
But listen,
the world I live in.
Bob Iger put his mix, hat in the ring today, so it could be the Mickey Mouses. Who knows?
Sounds good to me. Whatever that is, so basketball and then whatever you want to call the A's. Why do
The
we
Las
keep getting
Vegas
teams that
Athletics.
don't win?
Well, listen, I think things could change, especially with this young core that the Athletics franchise has. But you bring up a lot of good points. I saw you shaking your head, Jason Page.
You always find me shaking my head.
Because you're definitely a contrarian, but it's okay. We like your contrarian energy. Are you going to admit you're not a contrarian?
I'm out of here in about.
Right.
You can unmic me. I'm done.
You were already late, so it's okay. You can go. But here's the thing. Let me just ask you: are you not a contrarian by nature?
No, I'm like an attorney. I can argue both sides of anything.
Okay, so what's the ranking for you in 2030?
A's are going to be second, and the reason is simple. Obviously, the Golden Knights will remain number one. I don't think there's any bias in that. I think it's just they're an original. They're here already and already very successful, and there's no reason to think that'll change. I'll go with the A's at number 2 because I think they're going to be built for success by 2030 in a way that the Raiders will never be built for success because they're the Raiders. And in the NBA, it's not like the NHL where you can build an expansion team and then within a year or two be winning. I think it's going to be much more difficult, especially if it's a Western Conference team, to say that a Las Vegas NBA franchise is going to be able to win out of the gate. So for me, I think the A's will be number 2.
Okay, so wait, I can't get this out of my head. I don't know why I'm fixated this. So if you were shaking your head at Ken's question, why were you shaking your head if you can argue both sides?
Because he didn't say the A's were number 2.
Okay, all right.
He said the Raiders, and I'm like, there's no way. The Raiders are not, they're the Raiders.
Football is football, though.
Yeah, but it's
What
always
about
gonna be,
Mendoza?
But it's always going to be half the people that go to
Case,
Raiders.
I gotta
Getting
say,
there.
okay, I've never shared this show with them, so I want them not to think I'm a homer. I am Mr. Negative with the Raiders. You coined me that. You say I'm too negative about everything. I've hated all their moves for years. I gotta say, I really see an opening for the Raiders here. This is the first offseason where I just feel like there's such organizational symmetry. I think they have the coach, they have the general manager, they have the young players. I hate to say it, I totally agree with Ken's rankings. However, I do think the Golden Knights, it's inching a little bit closer. There's some people that are falling off the Golden Knights. I know a lot of people don't like the front office. I think the Raiders have an opening here, and at the end of the day, it's football. It's the biggest sport in the country. If they hit on Mendoza, if they hit on some of these young players, I think Ken's top 4 is exactly what I would do. But if there's there's one that I would change, I could see the Raiders overtaking
It's
the Golden
fascinating,
Knights.
especially in an AFC West that's so competitive, hyper competitive. It really does come down to them hitting on Fernando Mendoza. We're going to be getting in on him further later on in the show. But okay, so it seems like there's some synergy here. Jason, I do always believe you're a little contrarian. But 2030, let's just say overall, I mean, that's going to be an exciting time for Vegas sports, right? How good is it just to have the entertainment capital of the world finally become the sports capital of the world?
We didn't even mention UNLV or the Aces. F1's here. We'll probably have another, what are we going to have, 3 more Super Bowls by 2030? That's how they're doing this now, right? So hopefully, with Final Fours coming here, this is amazing. There's no better time to live in Vegas than now. This is fantastic.
Okay, see, Sin City Beat, it's just on the up and up. So we broke down the stacking of teams when it comes to popularity in 2030, but what about the athletes? How is that going to look? That's next on Sin City Beat.
You're watching Sin City Beat.
Asia Wilson, Nick Kurtz, Fernando Mendoza, Jack Eichel. Those are just 4 of the names that will most likely be the face of Vegas sports in 2030, but the possibilities are vast. So, Case, who, in your opinion, will be the most popular Vegas athlete come 2030?
I think just like the Golden Knights have the crown of like the team of the last decade, I think Asia's coming up on a decade now where it's been Asia Wilson #1. I still think 2030 she's probably going to have that title, but it's going to be about time to pass the torch. That's where I'm having a little bit of trouble just figuring out exactly what's going to be. Honestly, I agree with what Jason was saying last segment about basketball. You're not going to be good right away. However, I do think at its core, Vegas is a basketball town. If they have a high lottery pick, let's say they're in their second year of playing, they get like the first draft pick, some superstar freshman. Might be some kid playing in 8th grade or a freshman year right now. I could see the great big hope being a new basketball player. I like Fernando Mendoza. I don't think he's ever going to be Tom Brady MVP winner, so I wouldn't go him. So I'm going to go with some 12 or probably older than that. 14-year-old right now. I'm not brushed up on the 2028 recruiting rankings. I'm going to go with a wild card basketball high schooler right now.
Okay, so somebody who's missing this show currently because they're on TikTok is what you're saying. That's totally okay, Case. Jason, who are you picking as the face of Vegas athletic sports come 2030?
I'm going to be lame. I'm going to be safe. For the AL West champion Las Vegas Athletics, it's got to be Nick Kurtz.
Yeah.
To me, if we're trying to be realistic about this and not basing it on some 8th grader who's on TikTok or something like that, and I'm not even being mean when I say that.
Is he still on the team? That's my question with him. I feel like he's going to get paid
playing
somewhere
He
else.
hasn't signed that contract yet. I wish he did.
If I'm trying to be realistic in terms of like people that could actually be based on what we know now, who better than Nick Kurtz? I think he's going to be a star in this town. Everybody loves a slugger.
The
Chicks
big
dig
Amish.
the long ball.
The big Amish is definitely, becoming a fixture in Major League Baseball. Who knows, by 2030, the Amish community could all, travel to Las Vegas. You never know.
See, the folks in production love me too because they already had the B-roll of. They didn't have some kid on TikTok on his phone. They already had the B-roll of Nick Kurtz. So production.
I think it's a great answer. I just don't see him here long term. I know the A's are spending more. I think he's going to be Nick Kurtz. Yankees
here's the concerning factor. There is that the fact that
less money,
the A's,
sign him now.
David Force has done a tremendous job constructing this roster with the Athletics, but Jacob Wilson's signed, Lawrence Butler signed, Soderstrom is signed. A lot of these players are signed long-term, even Brent Rooker. But Nick Kurtz still hasn't signed that contract. We got to make sure his agent is doing him a lot of favors because you never know what's going to happen.
Go out and buy your season tickets, folks, so that we can afford to pay Nick Kurtz and have him here in 2030 so I don't look like an idiot.
You can get on the priority access list for $19 and just 1 cent. I always say that on Covering the Bases with the A's. Ken, you can go in a different direction if you want because I know you're an alternative thinker sometimes. Sports figures. We all know here in Vegas, perhaps maybe the greatest sports figure of all time is Jerry Tarkanian. Some people could even argue that Dana White could be, a sports figure that's the face of athletics in Vegas sports come 2030. Which angle are you going to go? Are you going to go athlete? You're going to go figure? Your take.
I'm going figure. I think between now and 2030, Bill Foley's son, Rob, is going to take over. And I think what happens in that transition what the Golden Knights have been all the way up to this point to what are they going to be in the future is completely in the balance. We have no idea what he's going to do, what he's going to be like, how he's going to act. Is he enjoying the enemy style that they're taking right now, the Dark Knights or whatever we want to call them? I don't know. So that's who I think it's going to be, because we said they're number one. They're going to remain number one. If they have a new owner, that's a big deal.
And here, just for all the Sin City Beat fans at home, if you're wondering why there's no B-roll, like Jason Page was saying, of Rob Foley, well, I didn't even know Bill Foley has a son. That's how authentic and genuine that this franchise, this whole show truly is off the cuff, and you gotta love it. That's a good take right there. I'm assuming you're saying that because Foley also ends up getting the NBA team and what he will do with that.
Also possible, yep. And then whatever happens with all of the other teams that they have in town and how that all works. And I just think it's going to be fascinating to see the difference.
Okay, 20 seconds.
See, and that's somewhere in between TikToker in 8th or 9th grade and something like me, which is somebody who's still alive and like here right now. That's something in between that. So you had like all three.
See, we have all of the bases
Still alive.
covered. Guys, basketball fans in Vegas have discovered their love of the game through the Runnin' Rebels and Jerry Tarkanian in the 70s. And NBA fans have been lucky to get a taste of pro basketball with the Summer League. But the NBA having a Vegas franchise, that's close to becoming a reality. Coming up, a full breakdown on all things NBA and Vegas. Talks of the NBA coming to Vegas are getting hotter and hotter, and the likelihood is close to becoming a reality. Now, back in April, the league's Board of Governors voted to authorize an expansion plan to, quote, formally explore establishing new teams in both Las Vegas and Seattle. And recently, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver mentioned that the league is targeting a 2028-2029 season debut for 2 new teams. So let's break down all the variables, all the nuances here when it comes to the NBA and Vegas becoming a thing. So Jason, is an NBA franchise in Vegas a no-brainer?
No-brainer. It's already done. That's why I'm sitting here laughing as you're saying, it's a foregone. This is done. The NBA's coming here. Let's just get that out of the way right now. It's just a question of who's going to own the team and where they're playing at this point. I think it's going to be enormous. I'm an NBA guy, so I obviously think it's going to be successful. I went to the NBA Cup finals here when the Knicks were playing the Spurs and thoroughly enjoyed it. I think the NBA is going to do very well here.
Do you have a feeling on who that owner could potentially be? Because, there's been names thrown out like Magic Johnson, Bob Iger, Bill Foley, who we've been talking to about, Rob Foley. There's all these possibilities.
It's too early.
Too early for you two.
It's too early, and there's going to be so many things going on behind the scenes that we're not privy to.
Yeah.
The politics of this that we're not privy to, promises made in terms of deliverables and things like that. I think it's going to be a little while before we know.
Okay, Case, you've been covering sports here in Las Vegas for how long?
Since 2009.
And you've seen a lot grow and develop here. I've been here for 7 years. So many things have changed here in the landscape of Vegas sports. If you're a true NBA head like Jason Page, you would remember David Stern notoriously hated Las Vegas and even the thought of Vegas having an NBA franchise. Now, Adam Silver has taken this to new heights. Of course, the NBA Summer League has been here for over 20 years. We've seen the NBA Cup and a lot of great things develop here. Even the G League team, the NBA G League Ignite, which was here for a couple years. So, Case, in your estimation, is the NBA having a franchise here, having a footprint in Southern Nevada? It's a good thing, right?
Yeah, I'm positive for sure, and I agree with Jason. I do think it's going to happen. I think you go back to when I first moved here, everyone always thought we were going to get a professional sports team, and I think NBA would have been the odds-on favorite. Everyone thought NBA was going to be first. It was the team everyone thought would have enough support, and I still think that's true, even though we're getting a little more competition, a little more crowded market. My big question is, and I know I'm completely contradicting myself since I picked a TikTok Hooper, I can't even talk, to be the face of sports in 2030. I'm a little skeptical of the timeline. The expansion fees they're talking about, we've already heard some owners fall out. LeBron and Fenway is who I always thought was going to get it the last few years. He said he's out now because it's, $5 billion
I don't believe that,
expansion fee or what. I'm not sure it's going to happen in 2029. We don't even know if they have all the votes yet. I think it will happen. I just think I've seen this pushed back so many times since the mid-2010s. I would not be surprised if it's not into the 2030s when the NBA team
Before
gets
I
here.
go to Ken, real quickly, one more thing, Case. Of course, we've seen a lot of gambling issues in the news with the NBA. Chauncey Billups, so many names come to mind, Terry Rozier. So do you have any feeling about that sensibility impacting the state of play in the NBA in Southern Nevada, or you're totally kosher with
Absolutely not. I mean, gambling is everywhere now. And you look at Adam Silver, he was really ahead of the curve. I think it was, 2013, 2014. He wrote that, I think it was an op-ed at the time for New York Times, really embracing sports gambling. I think he understands it. And the shenanigans, so to speak, can happen anywhere now. It's not a Las Vegas thing.
Okay, Ken, floor is yours.
Oh, I think the NBA is a complete disaster. I think the league's a disaster. I think us having a team would be a disaster. I don't think it helps the city at all. I don't like anything about the NBA. It's an unwatchable product.
Why?
Have you watched it?
I think it's pretty good during, the regular season, but I think it's tremendous during the postseason.
You said with a straight face, I think it's pretty good during the regular season.
I think it's pretty good during the
think you're
regular
lying.
season, and I think it's tremendous during the postseason.
I think it's halfway decent to okay in the final. I'll say this.
By 2030, it might be a lot
Maybe
better.
it'll be a little bit better. This last final was a little bit better. They seemed to care. When Oklahoma City won the championship, they shook hands with the other team and walked off the court. No one cared.
I don't understand. The lack of passion in that sport is unbelievable to me. I just feel like the guys are out there making way too much money to not give a damn at all.
And
I don't understand it.
There are people that you can fixate on who are different and that are true competitors in the sport, Jalen Brunson being one of them. But let me ask you this. How much of your negative emotions and feelings on this are just because of traffic patterns, costs, all those types of things? Are you really coming from that angle, or are you really just not an NBA guy?
It's partially due
Yeah,
to
I mean,
the fact
he's
that
right
I cover,
about that.
Are you
I cover
taxing?
the NBA.
Yeah.
I cover the NHL.
Right.
And I need fans to enjoy the NHL. And the more people that start spending money on NBA, that's bad. Those seasons overlap.
So you think it would be
That's bad.
successful? Yeah.
I don't think it will be successful long term.
You don't want it
because
to
I think
be
I
successful?
don't think the NBA is going to be successful. The NBA is awful. They have to figure out how to fix that league. It's terrible.
Yeah, but the locals are still going to support the hockey. I think the NBA you're still going to have people traveling in for
You
it.
may.
You may. And I agree with you on the traffic stuff. I still can't figure out. I was just talking about this with Alan Snell from LV Sports Biz, and I don't know where they're going to fit all these people. Like the traffic, trying to get people in and out of the city. I don't know how they're doing it. Like the infrastructure here is, I've only been here 2 years and I can tell you, this place, the infrastructure is not made for the volume of people that are coming here.
We're going to have to see what happens. I got to go to the break. There's still more Sin City Beat ahead. And now there's one man who has the potential to usher in a new era of Raider significance. His name, Fernando Mendoza. Up next, the expectation for the Silver and Blacks franchise quarterback. Welcome back to Sin City Beat. We're almost done with our exercise of future sports significance in Las Vegas. And the Silver and Black are pinning their hopes on Fernando Mendoza, the top pick of the draft, the Heisman Trophy winner, and national champion. So, Case, what will Mendoza's rookie season look like? And by 2030, will Raiders fans be happy with his maturation and development?
I think he's going to be starting somewhere around midseason. I think the Raiders' schedule actually fell really poorly. I think they wanted Kirk Cousins to start the first month or two and find a natural spot to put in Fernando Mendoza. You look at the schedule, the toughest part is the middle, so that didn't work out all that well. I think he's going to be a very good quarterback. I don't see him being a complete bust. Just getting to know him a little bit, seeing him practice, he's looked great so far. I also don't necessarily see that he has that MVP. I know I'm kind of repeating what I said earlier, but I don't see him being like the best guy in the league at some point, but I do think he's going to be decent. I do think he will be their quarterback by 2030, and I think they'll be probably year after year kind of on that wild card fringe.
But you don't think he's going to be, does he have the potential to be the best quarterback in the NFL?
I think he definitely has the potential. You saw him go number one. You saw what he did last year. If he keeps building on that, it's possible. I just think it's probably not a super likely outcome. I would put it somewhere below at 5% or something.
Jason Page, you're very negative. You and I disagree about pretty much a lot of things. And I know today, as we're doing an exercise in philosophy and meditating, I feel like we're all like Seneca or Plato on this panel today. But, you're your feelings on Fernando Mendoza. I don't know why you're so negative on a guy who's the Heisman Trophy winner, national champion, such a mature individual. The guy is tough as nails. What else do you need to see from a guy on that 12-yard fourth down run where he's taking hits left and right, diving for the end zone? What do you not like about this dude?
Listen, he was the best quarterback of a bad quarterback draft class. Let's be honest about that. A non-existent quarterback draft class. And you're starting on, some guys are born on third base in sports, some guys are born on first base. He's born on first base. He's going to a franchise that has been a perennial loser.
I disagree with. I feel like you got Brock Bowers, you got Tyler Linderbaum now as the staple of that offensive line. Clint Kubiak has already won. Spytek knows what he's doing. You got Genty running the ball. If he gets a couple more weapons on the wide receiver front, this could be a good situation. But real quickly, we have a minute left. I want your answer on this.
I think he's Kirk Cousins. I think it's wild that they brought in Kirk Cousins.
It's kind of crazy.
Because I think he's Kirk Cousins. Is that a good quarterback? Yeah, it's all right. He's really good when he plays my team. I'm a Buccaneer fan. But he's not that good all the other times. Like, I think he's going to be
You don't think he's better than Kirk Cousins?
He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
No, and then peak Kirk Cousins was pretty good.
I think you take Kirk Cousins, and I agree, too.
See, I think if he's Kirk Cousins, it's a monumental failure.
Oh, my God.
I think
you are so set up to fail. You are so set up to be miserable right now.
Did Kirk Cousins win a Heisman Trophy? Did Kirk Cousins, was he a national champion? Did he lead a team to go 16-0 in college football?
He had a couple seasons where he's in the MVP conversation in the NFL. I think if you hit that with Mendoza,
yeah.
you're good.
Mendoza has a much higher ceiling and potential than Kirk Cousins. I'm shocked you said that.
I feel it's
right.
wild to me when they sign Kirk Cousins. Because my thought when Fernando was coming out, I'm like, he's Kirk Cousins.
Listen,
and then they signed Kirk Cousins.
Well,
the
best quarterback
What do
in
you
the
know?
chapel,
show
that's for
of
sure.
future thought.
What
A
do you
lot
know?
of future thought leaders here in Vegas on the panel. Jason, Case, Ken. I'm Mike Davis. We want to thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time here on Sin City Beat.